Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to my car channel. I hope you like what you see here. Be sure to subscribe, and when you do subscribe, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified whenever new videos get uploaded. If you've been to my channel recently, you know I like to go to these state surplus vehicle auctions, and when the right car in the right condition at the right price comes through, I like to grab it. The most recent auction happened a few weeks ago, and there I bought a Tahoe PPV. Now this Tahoe has a bunch of miles on it. Cosmetically it's pretty good, but there was one big catch with it. Yeah, engine knock. Now, on the inspection day of the auction, I looked over the cosmetics of the truck, both inside and out, the glass, the tires, and so on. I saw the note about the engine knock, so I didn't even try to start it. But before the auction closed the next day, I researched replacement engines, both junkyard takeouts and remanufactured engines, and I came up with a budget of $4 grand for the replacement engine, shipping, labor, and to have someone do the job, the fluids, the hoses, and everything else that's needed. So after the auction ended, and I won the truck, the Tahoe sat at the auction lot for another week before me and my son Nate, we went down there and got it towed out. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was fine.
Click, 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 click,
It is.
click. So I gave Nate the honors of starting the Tahoe for the very first time, and frankly, in the back of my head, I had worst case scenario on catastrophic engine failure. I'm thinking a rod through the block or a piston detonated. But really, once we started it up and listened to the engine, it sounded more like a top end issue, more like valves or valve springs or a push rod. But regardless, I had a flatbed come by, pick the truck up, and haul it over to my buddy's house, who took a look at it, and he had the same assessment, that it was a cam or some kind of top end issue. And so let me show you the video that I took of the truck over at his house and what the next steps and the plans are with this Tahoe. We had it towed over here to my buddy's house where he took a look at it, and he confirmed that it's the lifters or the cam. So from the research I found out is that it's the active fuel management on these trucks where the lifters eventually go bad, and those lifters are what deactivates 4 of the cylinders and turns the 5.3 liter into a regular 4-cylinder engine. And so when those lifters go bad, it eats up the cams, and that's where the knock comes from. So I found a kit that deletes the active fuel management system. It's called a displacement on demand. It's a DOD delete kit. It's a new cam, new lifters, and all the parts that go along with it. Now, I figured now's the opportunity also to upgrade the cam. Not just go a standard stock cam for the engine, but to do something bigger and badder. And that's where I picked up this a custom grind meant for these engines and for the truck. And this thing's supposed to make an improvement in the horsepower too. I figured since the heads have to come off the truck as well, might as well do headers at the same time. So I got headers coming, should arrive in the next few days. I got the DOD delete kit in the back of the truck, the camshaft, and all the other miscellaneous parts and gaskets and everything that goes with it. So I picked up the DOD delete kit from Texas Speed and Performance, and it was $1,250 and includes everything needed to make this thing work. From a new camshaft, new valley trays, new lifters, valve springs, push rods, nuts, bolts, gaskets, everything. Now the key to this thing, however, is the ECM, which needs to be reprogrammed to turn off the active fuel management system. So for $309, the ECM gets sent out to Texas Speed and Performance, program it to turn off the AFM, but they also program the ECM to take into account the larger cam and the headers and any other performance upgrades that may go on the truck as well. I'm told between the headers, the ECM, and the cam, 100 more horsepower or so, which is pretty exciting. Now, originally when I got this truck, I was looking all over the place to find out what the horsepower ratings were and what the specs are on the truck, and I was getting all kinds of conflicting information. One source said the 5.3 liter did 303 horsepower, another source said 330 horsepower. What I ended up doing was finding a report from the state of Michigan, which is the authority on police car testing. They tested one of these trucks back in 2008 and 2009. They do this testing, I think, every other year, and they had this truck on there, not this exact truck, but they had a 2008 Chevy Tahoe PPV, 2-wheel drive, 5.3 liter. And the stats that they have on the truck shows it at 5,200 pounds. And that engine, the 5.3 liter, does 320 horsepower. And I'm figuring with the improvements to the engine, I'm gonna add another 100 horsepower to that. So I'm pretty excited to see what 420 horsepower or so is gonna feel like. Now, the 0 to 60 on this truck with 5,200 pounds is 8.4 seconds. This is based on the state of Michigan. Now, in comparison, a Crown Vic of the same year with 250 horsepower on the 4.6 liter does 0 to 60 in 8.8 seconds, and that's using a 3.27 rear. This truck, they have 373s. Now, I'm expecting, I don't know, can I shave a second and a half off of that 0 to 60 times? Can I get into the 6-second range with these engine improvements? I don't know. I think it's possible, and I think it's realistic. So since I'm not spending $4 grand anymore on a replacement engine, and I still have this $8,000 total budget that I'm working with on this Tahoe, I thought I'd go out and buy the headers like I shared with you, but I also ordered a catback system as well. So I'm anxious to get the truck back and get that catback system installed to see what it sounds like. And I know it's gonna sound way better than what that stock exhaust system is. Also, I want to stance the truck a little better. Now, a stock PPV is 4 inches lower than a standard Tahoe, but I want to bring it down more. Now, I don't want to drop it in the weeds, although that's pretty cool, but I want to get it maybe 2-3 inches lower than it already is. But frankly, it's all going to depend on what the total repair bill is for the DOD and the cam and lifters and so forth. All right, so if you're still around by now, I appreciate you watching. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you like what the plans are for the Tahoe, and I can't wait to share more with you. But in the meantime, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.